Hello everyone. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss about essay writing for IELTS. The course that we are running is called as Writing Safe. So Writing Safe, where safe stands for strong, aware, firm, and enabled. So SAFE is strong, aware, firm, and enabled and empowered. This is the purpose with which we are doing all these courses. We want you to be strong mentally, emotionally, physically. We want you to be aware so that you take the right decisions and you make use of all your knowledge in a very clear way. Your depiction is clear. You are firm about what you do, so you know about the steps you take and you do not deviate from the path. So you are firm and you are empowered. You are empowered by your knowledge. You are empowered by your spirituality. So that's what we are trying to do. So with the help of the steps that we are going to discuss, you would have this approach. You would be strong. You would be aware. You would be firm. You would be empowered. So let us try to implement this formula in writing the essay. So fine. In IELTS, you are going to get an essay and a graph or a letter that you are supposed to write. And you can follow some steps. The steps can be described as prompt, plan, produce, and proofread. Prompt is understanding the question very clearly. Like, what kind of question is this? Is it related to discussing both the views, or it is related to just give your opinion on one particular view? So discuss both views and give example, or it is about agree or disagree, or it's about cause and effect. So they talk about certain, like for example, we see that in the last few years, there has been a tremendous increase in pollution. So what are the causes of it and what are the effects of it? And the fourth is an argument-based essay. So they give you an argument. Is banning cars the best way to control pollution? So, you are supposed to argue. You are supposed to say yes or no, that it is banning cars is a good solution or not. So understanding the prompt, understanding the nature of the question is very important. And we are going to do some exercises later where we'll have a list of essay prompts and we'll try to understand it. So this is very, very important that you spend some time understanding the passage. We'll do a little analysis of a few essays here together to tell you what exactly do I mean by uh, when I say that we have to understand the question. Let me just share my screen once again. So here we have a collection of essay topics, as you can see. Like for example, if you take this topic for an example, happiness is considered very strong in our life. Why is it difficult to define? Why it is difficult to define happiness? What factors are responsible? There should be what factors are responsible. What factors are responsible in achieving happiness? Happiness is considered very important in our life. Why is it difficult to define? Why is it difficult to define? So I'm just making some corrections right away. Why is it difficult to define? What factors are responsible in achieving happiness? If this is the question, then how do we understand the prompt? What kind of question is this? So this is background information. As you look at this, happiness is very important in life. It's not the question. There are two questions in this. Why is it difficult to define? So you have to answer these two questions separately. Why is it difficult to define happiness? That is the first question. And what factors are responsible for achieving happiness? That is the second question. So understanding the prompt is very important, and understanding which questions are there in the prompt. So the first sentence is the background information, and then there are two very clear questions in this essay. That why is it difficult to define happiness? So you are supposed to talk about why is it difficult to define, and then what factors affect happiness. So analyzing the question and understanding what are what is the background information or the premise and what are the questions is very important. This is the first step in writing your essay, which is understanding the prompt. Let us go back to our mind map and see what we have there. So the next step is basically plan. So when you say plan, you're supposed to understand the question and then apply appropriate template to write an essay. See, applying a template does not mean that you are supposed to mug up something and just write what is there in your mind, but then still using a template can be a great way to speed up. What I mean to say is a template does not, using a template does not mean mugging up something and just reproducing it or just putting things across, but then using certain structure to put your thoughts in a very in a easy to understand manner. So the second step is to plan your essay, and when we say we have to plan the essay with respect to the type of question, you have to use the right template. So let's see what are the steps in planning the essay. You have to write the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So when we say you have to write introduction, how should you write an intro? So there are certain steps. The first is state the obvious. Like for example, the topic says happiness is difficult. Why is it difficult to like? Happiness is something which is very important in life. Why is it difficult to define? And what factors are responsible for being happy or achieving the state of being happy? So the question is, happiness is important in life. Now this is the premise. And then it is saying why is it difficult to define and what factors are responsible for making a person happy. If this is the topic and I have to write an introduction to it, my introduction should be very simple and straightforward to just give a little curtain raiser of what is going to follow. So you can start with saying that happiness is critical for personal and professional success. See, the statement in the question was uh, uh, happiness is important for life. So it is talking about the importance of happiness. You can replace those words and just expand it or qualify it by using some modifiers. Happiness is critical for personal and professional success. Yeah, happiness is critical for health and efficiency. So basically, you are hinting at a happy person is able to produce more or give better output. So you are stating the obvious. And then simply state what this essay is going to do. This essay will discuss why people find it difficult to define and which factors contribute to happiness or which factors make a person happy or various contributing factors uh, to bring happiness in a person's life. So make it very precise, very direct, very simple. Your introduction should be very direct and easy to understand. It should act like a curtain raiser for what is going to follow in your essay. And with the help of some examples, we are going to see this. There are lots and lots of examples, and if you follow those structures, it becomes very easy for you to write your essay. After stating your obvious, state your opinion in case the essay is about an opinion type of essay. Like for example, some people prefer to stay in a single house, others prefer to stay in an apartment. Discuss the advantages of both the options and give your opinion. So if it is asking discuss the advantages of both and give your opinion, you can always give your opinion in the introduction itself. Some people say that introduction should be neutral. My suggestion is You can always tell what you are going to write in the introduction itself, and it should be like a cut and razor. You should mention all the points, not in detail, but like for example, while people have their own preference towards the type of house they want to live in, I prefer to stay in, or my preference goes towards an apartment where we get the advantage of community living. So you have given a little hint about what you want to say, and then you can organize your thoughts in an easy way in 3 paragraphs or 2 paragraphs talking about the advantages that it gives a very good, it gives the advantage of community living, and second is an apartment is considered to be more safe or a safer option than living in a single house, and you can elaborate it with better amenities and all. So basically, writing an introduction, when you write an introduction, you are supposed to do 3 things: state the obvious, state your opinion, and invite for further discussion. And we'll see some structures. There are some fixed phrases for it, which we'll see in some examples later. The second part is writing about the body. Now, when you draft a paragraph, one very good way is like one of the many participants ask me that they find it difficult to link the sentences. So they lack ideas. They write something, but then what should be the next sentence? And if there is some template that you can follow, not template of words, but template of thoughts, like which thought should follow which thought. I mean, a series of thoughts wherein whenever you speak or write something, it's very easy for the other person to understand. And this is the sequence I suggest. You can use theme, example, and explanation. So the first line of the paragraph should be a theme, then you write an example, and then you elaborate it with some explanation. Like for example, according to me, there are many advantages of living in an apartment. The biggest advantage is security, and you can write 1 or 2 lines about security. The second advantage is about community living, and you can talk about example of community living where people can celebrate many festivals together, and then you can explain it that this gives a lot of opportunity to children and elderly people to mix with each other, and they feel secure and happy in such an environment. So you have used theme, example, and explanation to write the whole paragraph. And for every paragraph in the body, you can use theme, write, example, and explanation kind of structure. The last thing that you would write is the conclusion. So when you write the conclusion, make it very, very precise and direct. Do not elaborate too much. Do not talk about many aspects. Make it very precise and clear. For example, in this case, you can say that to conclude, given that an apartment provides more opportunities or provides advantages of community living, security, and better amenities, I strongly advocate. Yeah, my preference goes towards living in an apartment instead of, or rather than living in a single house. So yeah, so in case we talk about the various steps of writing the essay, the first is the introduction, then the body, and the conclusion. So first is prompt, understanding the question, then you have to plan it. When you plan, you have to plan the introduction, body, and conclusion. The next step is produce. Produce is actually writing the essay, and we have discussed a few aspects of writing the essay also here. So yeah, while writing the essay, when you write the essay, in this step, it is very important to take care of the timeline there with you. The crux of the whole essay writing process is to maintain strict discipline with respect to the timeline. You get 25 to 30 minutes to write the essay. And in that, so if you take, let's say, 3 minutes or 4 minutes to in the first 2 steps, prompt and plan, not more than 4 minutes, you will get 30 minutes to write the essay. So stick to the timeline. Do not think too much. Follow the structure of theme, example, and explanation so that you do not miss upon any point. and maintain a very easy flow of ideas. So this is how you should write whenever you try to write an essay. The last step is to proofread. When you proofread or when you check your essay, you're supposed to check two things: spelling and grammar, and the punctuation errors. Do not spend too much time in proofreading, but of course, proofreading is a very, very important step. When you are writing, your focus is towards selection of words, paragraphing, how to build your argument. So it is very natural to go wrong with respect to spellings and punctuations, and you must take care of, you must do proofreading or checking your essay or reading it critically at the end to make sure your essay is free of any mistakes. So follow these steps while writing the essay: prompt, understanding the question, plan your answer depending on the nature of the question, reduce, which is writing the essay. When you are writing the essay, the most important thing is to take care of the timeline. Make sure that you write your essay in the given time span, and proofread, which means checking your essay. So these are the steps. In the next video, we'll discuss about the evaluation criteria and what points you should consider while writing the essay. Thank you so much, and all the best to you.